to discuss Sino-U.S. trade and Vladimir Putin's upcoming visit to China. We are now joined by Elizabeth Loris, non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council Global China Hub. Elizabeth joins us live from Washington, D.C. Elizabeth, welcome back to WION, and thank you so much for joining us. Is this a new trade war between Beijing and Washington, and how do you see it, if?
This is a continuing trade war. We know that President Trump imposed pretty hefty tariff duties and other restrictions on Chinese imports, claiming that for many, many years, China had treated U.S. businesses unfairly, as well as put import restrictions and, required technology transfers for U.S. companies operating in China. So this continues, of course, under the Biden administration. What's interesting about these most recent tariffs, as you indicated, 100% tariff on EVs, 50% on solar cells, 25% on steel and aluminum, is that a lot of this is targeted toward those battleground states that will largely determine who is elected president in November of 2024. If you look at the CHIPS Act that the Biden administration had pursued and passed, that includes a lot of subsidies to a lot of American companies. These industries are part of that CHIPS Act. So this is actually to protect American industries. Now, it's bad for American consumers, but it's also bad for American businesses. Consumer prices will certainly go up. And why is it bad for businesses? Well, with less competition, they will not have to improve their product as much. And so their products may not be as good as if there were competition, and they will certainly cost more. Now, what's interesting is nobody buys Chinese EVs in America right now. This is, of course, to prevent them from coming into the market. China has overproduced EVs, and they're at very, very competitive prices. And so the idea is to prevent them from coming in. But again, why now? Why impose this 100% markup on cars that aren't even coming into the United States? And it just looks like a political move by the Biden administration to indicate that it's tougher on China than the Trump administration has been, and indicates that it would be if it comes back in January.
So interesting. And many ask, why can't the world's two biggest economies just find common ground, notably on trade?
Well, the common ground, certainly from the U.S. point of view, the common ground would have been, employing market forces in trade. When China joined WTO, 25 years ago, it had agreed, to abide by market forces, although it did join as a developing country, so it was able to subsidize, some industries and state industries. Of course, the United States says that is China, has not followed through. Of course, we know in China, the state is the major economic player rather than the market, and the state serves the CCP. And so the United States says, you're supposed to play by market forces. China says, well, you just, impose huge tariffs on us. So this is, the pot calling the kettle black. And so the two of them are not going to see eye to eye. In the United States, admittedly, the free market advocates are pretty much gone. It's much more about protecting the American industry, whether it be, Biden administration or Trump America First. So each sides are looking to protect. So they're not going to find common ground if they're both protecting their own turf.
Okay, Elizabeth Loris joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for that. Of course, we'll be following this story very closely, and Vladimir Putin's upcoming trip to China as well. Lots to talk about on that topic as well. I hope you'll join me soon once again. Thanks for joining us. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.